Thank you so much for staying with us, and thanks again to our sponsors. We have been talking about cover crops for our vegetable gardens and how to get our vegetable gardens ready for next spring. It seems sort of funny talking about that already, but we also want to touch on harvesting before we start talking about your landscapes in the second half of our show. So if you are doing some harvesting right now of some of your tomatoes, and this is the time you're going to be making your salsa and your spaghetti sauce, canning your tomatoes, we want to let you know about the herbs that we have on sale. Our cilantro, our basil, and our dill are all on sale for $2 a pot, regular $3.49. Remember, all of them are grown organically, so there's no chemicals at all. You can just take them right off, cut them up and cut them right into your sauce or your salsa, and you're going to have those fresh herbs in there for your canning or your freezing, whatever you do. And we also have our perennials on sale for all of you that are wanting to add to your perennial gardens. They are buy two, get one half off. So we have a lot going on in our landscapes right now, and some of you are saying that your perennials just aren't looking their best right now, so you're wondering if you can cut them off. And this is definitely too early. We're not ready for fall cleanup yet. We aren't even going to be to fall for another 2 weeks from today is when fall will actually be here officially. A lot of us think, oh, it's after Labor Day, it's fall. But fall will not be here until the 22nd, 2 weeks from today. So it's still summer, and we still need to think about that. So cutting your perennials completely off is not really a good idea right now. So go ahead and take the time to clean them up. You will really notice a difference, and some of them might even give you a little bit of a rebloom, maybe not as quite of a huge flushing out of flowers, but you'll still get some new flowers. So clean off, cut off the dead leaves, do some deadheading, which means you're going to trim off the flowers that are spent all the way back to the ground off of their stem, or if there's still some bud, just the dead part of the plant of the flower. But get all that stuff cleaned up, trimmed off, and you will notice how well some of them does. And even some of your shrubbery. Like if you trim back some of the spirea right now, or your knockout roses. If your knockout or your drift roses are looking a little peaked, it's still early enough to get them a deadhead. Maybe they're a little yellow. Give them a little bit of nitrogen fertilizer. Put a little blood meal down for them and let them, get nice and dark again. And they will flush out blooming till we have hard frost, which is usually in October. So you still have a little over a month left of flowering on your roses if you take care of them. So we would really recommend, go out and deadhead nice and hard. You're going to deadhead back to the first set of leaves that have 5 leaflets on it. So trim back that far, and you will be able to still have a nice flushing of knockout roses blooming and looking, very nice in your gardens. And your perennials the same way. Still, a lot of your daylilies will be blooming as long as you take care of them. Remember, any of that finished up flowering that is gone is taking nutrients still from the plant. If you get that off of there, those nutrients that are being wasted on that dead flower with the nutrients still coming up that stem will go to a flower bud that is there, and it will open up more quickly. So do your deadheading, and you're going to be doing your plant a favor by letting those nutrients stay in the plant, and you'll do yourself a favor by getting to enjoy those flowers for a much longer period of time. So do that deadheading, clean those plants up. It's not time for your fall cleanup yet. Definitely, you have a good 6 to 8 weeks before you really need to be doing your fall cleanup. So you want to make sure that you keep that in mind and keep your garden, your perennial garden looking nice. And you're going to be pleasantly surprised at how well your flowers keep on going. And then you can do some of your trimming right now. If you haven't trimmed back your things that bloom real early, we are really pushing the envelope there. So if you haven't pruned back your forsythia, you're really pushing it it. If you do your trimming now, you probably will sacrifice a few flowers, but you're still okay on most of your azaleas and rhododendrons. We would have liked to seen it done probably 4 weeks ago, but if you get it done this weekend, you're probably going to be okay. The temperatures are going to be nice, so you could get out there today and get those things trimmed back. Remember, when you're trimming, anything that flowers in the spring, you want to make sure that you get it done early in the fall or late summer when it's a cool temperatures like this weekend, so that you don't deter any of the bud formation for next year's flowering. Also remember, if you're taking off some heavy growth, and you really want to reduce size, you never want to trim off more than 1/3 the total size of the plant at a time, so that you don't shock the plant too much. And that way your plant will adjust to the trimming pretty good. Now, there are some plants that you can trim back really hard. And you probably shouldn't do your heavy trimming this early, though. So if you do have some plants, maybe your butterfly bush has got out of control. It is a woody plant. It does have a woody stalk. You shouldn't cut it all the way to the ground, but you can trim it back harder than that 1/3. So if you have one that might even be 6 feet tall, you can bring it back to about 18 inches and really not shock it too much. Spirea are another one that you can trim back pretty hard and still not have an issue with them coming back. You can trim them back to about that 18-inch mark also, and they'll flush back out the next season. Now, one thing we have had several questions about as mum season is coming on. Several of you are buying mums, and they're asking if they're hardy. And they say that they have actually been at a box store, and they said that you have a 50-50 chance. Hardy mums are like any other perennial. And I guess with any plant, we always have at least a 50-50 chance if it's considered a perennial in your area. But if you are planting a hardy mum, you're planting it correctly. You are planting it by the 15th or so of October. That mum should definitely come back if it is truly a hardy mum. So if you want to know if you are getting a hardy mum, maybe buying at a local independent garden center in your area is the best way to do that. Go in and ask them, are you growing hardy mums? I would have to say 90% of the time, if you are buying a mum that is in a pot bigger than a 4-inch at this time of the year at a local independent garden center, it is a hardy mum. The 4-inch ones, they are on that 50-50 because they have a very small root system, and getting it established and developed before the cold temperatures, they're not as likely to take hold. But if you are buying in a standard mum pan, which is called an 8x5 mum pan, or about an 8-inch pot, if you are buying your mums at a local independent garden center in a pot that size, 90% of the time it is going to be a hardy mum. And as long as you have it planted in the ground by right around the mid part of October, and you're not leaving it on your front porch to decorate for maybe Halloween or for Thanksgiving, and then planting it, which that is too late for that root system to get established if we have a hard winter. These plants are going to come back for you if you get them in the ground by that mid-October time. They're going to definitely be rooted in enough. I do recommend that you mulch heavy this first winter, and you don't cut back the dead stalk of the flower when you're doing your fall cleanup in November. You don't cut it off at the ground like you would the rest of your perennials. Your first year, I do recommend leaving the brown all there, mulching around it. That is going to help that root system get established, stay a little bit warmer throughout the winter, and do better for you in the spring when you're doing the spring cleanup in late March, early April. It's fine to just go ahead and cut that right off, and then maybe even pull a little bit of the mulch away if it came up too hard on the stem or too high on your stem. But get that pulled away, and you will be ready to have beautiful mums coming up again next year. This is constantly a question every year about what is happening with mums. Are they going to come back for me next year, and those types of things. Well, we want to let you know what is going on at the store. Remember, the herbs are on sale. The cilantro, the dill, and the basil for only $2 for the 4-inch pots. We do have buy two, get one half off perennials right now. And we still have our fruit trees on sale at 25% off. We have some really nice apple trees. Remember, as the cooler temperatures come on, this is a great time to plant some trees. So you might want to get those in. Also, if you loved azaleas in the spring when they were blooming so beautifully, fall is a great time to get those planted as well. They'll be well and established, and then you will actually get to watch them bud up and bloom in the spring. If you are one of those folks that love that orange and yellow azalea and you couldn't find them, those are deciduous azaleas, and they are a little bit more rare, but we do have those at the store also. So if you loved seeing those this spring, that yellow and that orange azalea, those are the deciduous ones, and we have those at the store, and they are beautiful. This is a great time to get them planted as the temperatures are cooling off, but they will be established and ready to be blooming for you in the spring, and you'll get to see all of that, which will be very exciting. Our store hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till 6 p.m., Saturdays, 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. We are still closed on Sundays through the 23rd. That will be our last Sunday closed, which is Constitution Parade. But we will be open on Sundays in October for all of you after church to come over and get all of your fall decorating needs. Remember, if you have questions that you would like to ask, you can always give us a call at 330-455-5997. You can email me at cindypetitti@gmail.com. That's CINDYPETITTI@gmail.com. Or better yet, stop in at the store at 5828 Columbus Road, right there on the corner of Columbus Road and Broadway. Bring us your questions. We will try to get all of those answered for you. And remember all of the other things that we have at the store from the farm. We have fresh meat and eggs grown right on our farm on a non-GMO organic diet, and you can pick that up at any time, not just when we have farmers markets in the winter time. We have those at the store all of the time, as well as local honey and other organic products. We also have sweet corn right now, and probably by the end of the day it will be gone, but we do have sweet corn organically grown, certified organically grown in Ravenna. So please stop in at the store and see us. Stop back right here next Saturday morning on the light, 95.9, for the Petitti Pro Garden Show. Have a blessed week.